Okay, welcome everybody. This evening we've had a request for lower back and hips, which is very, very often a request. I think we all enjoy or benefit from tending to this area of the body. And another request for the psoas muscle. So as always, the themes that come in seem to work really well together. This is all, the psoas muscle is a long muscle. Is the only muscle that connects the upper and lower part of the body. So it's a long rope of a muscle that attaches to the spine and then comes down through the pelvic bowl, connecting to the top of the femur bone. So it's really part of it is it's a strong hip flexor. So when we're moving the knee to the chest, we're activating the psoas, and when we're in any kind of extension, like a back bend, or any kind of opening of the front hip, and we're lengthening the lower part of the psoas. But it's more than that, it's up here as well. But certainly this kind of hinge of the body. So we'll work a lot with hips, which will also be working with the lower back. You can't really separate these parts of the body with a particular focus on the hip flexor, the front of the hips. So I hope that's going to bring everyone what they need. So we're going to start lying down on the floor. So come to lie down. If you've got a yoga block this evening, that would be handy, but not essential. Okay, you don't need it right now, but have it handy if you have one. Okay, so let's just come to lie on the floor and just take a moment to arrive. Just take a moment to arrive fully, and that might be in the corpse pose. It might be with the knees bent and the feet on the floor, but just a moment to ground, to arrive. So just feel the skin of your body just kind of opening to receive the floor. This sense of, just before we start to move, to release what we've been carrying today, what we don't need for the next hour and a bit. Kind of wiping the slate clean. And just facilitating this perhaps with 2 or 3 just deep cleansing breaths. So full inhales, really filling the lungs all the way to the top, maybe holding for a couple of seconds at full capacity, and then exhaling completely, maybe with the mouth open, sighing out the breath. Just doing that a couple more times. Releasing what we don't need with that exhale. And just feeling yourself perhaps relax a little bit more into the present moment with these breaths. And then just take a few more moments here, just checking in with how you feel this morning, this evening, what your starting place is in your body, your energy levels, any aches or pains. And just one more little cue, just check there's a gap between the teeth. Often by the end of the day, we might be carrying tension that might be just manifesting in our jaw and our neck. We might be clenching the jaw, gritting the teeth. Just release the face, release the jaw, release the neck. We're going to start to move with the breath. If possible, one breath, one movement, but put extra breath in if you need, but trying to consciously synchronize breath and movement. So we're going to come immediately into a psoas focus here. So when you're ready, we're going to stretch the arms overhead and bring the inner seams of the legs towards each other, flexing the feet. So legs together now, toes up towards the ceiling. Reaching back through the fingertips, forward through the heels, pressing the lower back towards the floor to decrease the arch in the lower back and feel your core muscles switch on at the front of the body when you do that. Now inhale, full stretch here. Exhale, bring your right knee in. This is activating the psoas muscle, and give it a squeeze in towards the chest. And then inhale, release and extend. Then moving one breath, one movement. Swap sides. Exhale, left knee comes in. Maybe giving it a hug closer. Inhale, opening out. So just moving between sides with the breath. The inhale takes you into an extension. And the exhale into a knee to chest. So we're working the psoas, but we're also starting to ease into the lower back here. One side, then the other. Next time your right knee comes in, we're going to pause and hold. So you can be either hugging around the front of the shin or the back of the knee. You could also slide your left foot in if that's better for your low back. If you've got low back issues, you could have a bent left leg. Otherwise, just giving yourself a hug, drawing the right knee to the right side of the chest. If the left leg is extended, really push out through the left heel. This is extending the psoas on the left side. And to get into that upper psoas, we can also extend the left arm back. So we're hugging the right knee into the chest, contracting the right psoas, getting full extension on the left side. And by the way, when we do a psoas focus, this is just inherently working with the hips and the lower back. So it's all connected. One more deep breath here. And then release and swap sides. Extend the right leg, draw the left knee in. Remember, you can keep that right knee bent. Otherwise, we're drawing the left knee in towards the left side of the chest and almost towards the face. It's that sense of stretching it towards the face as we push in the opposite direction with the right heel. And again, you can add that right arm to get more into the upper portion of the psoas, so you can visualize this ropey muscle on the right side, getting a long stretch here, whilst the left side contracts. Breathing into the space on the right side. And then extend that left leg again, reach the arms overhead, so full body stretch, just as if you're waking up in the morning, getting that big stretch. And then we'll just bring both knees in. So again, you can hug around the front of the shins or the back of the knees. Try to have the thighs, inner thighs touching each other or close, inner knees touching each other or close. This helps open the lower back and breathe into the lower back. Deep breath. And then this is where you might need your block, your brick. If you don't have one, don't worry, just actively squeeze your inner thighs together. Then we're going to flex the feet, and if you have a yoga brick, slide it between the thighs, and we're squeezing the block with the thighs. You can take the arms out in line with the shoulders, palms down, or take the cactus arms bending at the elbows, palms up. Okay, squeeze the block and inhale at the center and exhale, take the knees over to the right. Not going so far that we can't do this easily, coming back on the inhale. Exhale over to the left, keep squeezing the block. So don't go too far that you can't come back on the inhale. So again, moving with the breath, one movement, exhaling out to the side, inhaling to the center. And to really focus on this kind of focus area this evening, the hinge of the body, we're trying to keep the upper back glued to the mat, stationary. So if you take the knees over to the right, your left shoulder blade and shoulder tries to stay down. You might, like I just did, get a kind of chiropractic sounding clunk in the lower back when you do this sometimes. This is not a bad thing. This is just a natural resetting of muscles and bones that get a bit stuck. Obviously, if it's feeling inappropriate, then minimize the movement or skip this. So we want to be connecting to our core. This is partly why we're squeezing the block, so that we don't let the back have to do all the work. This is key for lower back work, understanding to harness the lower back with the deep core. Next time you come back to the center from the left, we'll release, take the feet down, take the palms, bring the heels close to the buttocks and take the palms down, outer edges of the feet more or less parallel. And we're going to just therapeutically inhale, lift the tailbone and the pelvis off the floor, lift the hips. It doesn't need to be high. We're not coming all the way up and Sethi Bandhasana, more like a straight line here. And exhale, lower the spine and the sacrum down. Again, moving with the breath. Inhale, drawing the tailbone under, squeezing the buttocks to lift up to this kind of skateboard ramp flatness. It doesn't need to be high, and exhale, lowering down. And then you can also, at the end of the exhale, tilt the pelvis the other way to get that arch in the lower back. So let's do that a few more times with the breath. Exhaling, remembering to tilt the pelvis forward, over, increase the arch in the lower back. And then on your next inhale, you may wish to come higher to get into more of the upper psoas. So we're kind of working with lower psoas here, but now if we then press the feet down, lift the hips a little bit higher, more into Sati Bandhasana, we can kind of visualize how, as well as the hip flexor part of the psoas, we're getting into stretching the kind of upper portion, remembering it attaches to the spine on the back of the body. Holding, feeling how we're working the buttocks, working the lower back, working the thighs, and slowly lower down, upper back to lower back. And just when you come down, just make sure the whole of the back connects to the floor. So you might need to just move the shoulders back to the front, to the top of the mat a little bit. And we're just going to come into happy baby. So go gently into happy baby because it's quite a strong flexion for the lower back. If you can't find the feet, find the ankles or the back of the knees, but bring the knees wide towards the armpits and shins parallel, feet flexed. Okay. And just take some breaths here. I'm getting into the inner thighs and groins as well as the lower back here. So breathe into the places in the body that you feel are being opened and stretched. Remembering to stay within your pain-free limits. If anything's not right for your body, skip it, modify, feel free to unmute and ask for a modification. Let your breath be your guide. And then from here, just bringing the feet towards each other. If possible, the soles of the feet connect and we hold the outside edges of the feet or the tops of the feet and the knees go wide. If that doesn't work, maybe the big toes can touch and we can hold the ankles, or maybe we just hold the knees and try to bring the big toes towards each other. So just coming into our version of Supta Baddha Konasana. And then when we're ready, I'm going to just bring the knees towards each other, roll to one side, push ourselves up, find our way onto our hands and knees. Spreading the fingertips, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's mobilize the spine here. So inhaling, lifting tailbone, dropping the belly, drawing the shoulders back and looking up. And exhale, tailbone under, stretch, push the upper back to the ceiling, chin to the chest. Especially because we're working with the lower back and hip area, just really focus on initiating this movement with a pelvic tilt. So as you're coming into the cat, it starts by drawing the tailbone under. Just like we were doing on our back, the spine, we're now doing the same thing. As you inhale, we lift the tailbone, we arch the lower back, and then that ripples up the spine. So just have lots of awareness in what your pelvis is doing. And feel this intimate relationship between the lower back and the deep core. So as we come into the cow, we're stretching and opening the front body and contracting the back. And then the opposite, as you come into the cat, feel the contraction of the front body, that drawing the belly up to the spine as we stretch and open the back. And then from here, we're just going to add the leg. So come to a neutral spine. And as you inhale, lift the right leg and look up. We're stretching the whole of the psoas here. And exhale, chin towards the knee or forehead towards the knee beneath you. Aim for 5 times with your breath. So again, one breath, one movement if we can. Meditative breath movement synchrony. If you need to do fewer than 5, that's fine. Just stop when you need. And when you've done 5 or your amount, just lower that right knee down. Take a moment and then we'll go to the other side. So again, the inhale extends that left leg and we're lifting it up above the hips so that we get the extension into the psoas. And then exhale, full contraction, head to knee beneath you. Flowing with the breath, counting 5 if you can, or as many as you can. Listening to your body. But really focusing on breath movement synchrony. And when you've done your 5 or however many again, release that left knee down. I'm going to take a child's pose and just keep the knees together for this version to really open that lower back sacral area. You can bring the hands back to the feet with the palms up, drop the forehead to the floor, let the shoulders drop forward. So gravity is drawing the shoulder tips down to the floor and the tailbone, the pelvis down to the floor. So the back's getting this lovely stretch. And then on your inhale, lifting the gaze, sliding the hands forward so that you're back to tabletop with the hands just in front of the shoulders and tuck the toes. Find your way into downward dog. So we're going to have a little play with 3-legged downward dog this evening. I know some of you have wrist issues. If it's not for you, just skip this or have a go at playing around with variations on your hands and knees instead. 3-legged tabletop. So if it's for us, we're going to inhale, raise the right leg and just raise it as high as it will go. Don't worry about hip alignment. Remember, you can do this with your knees on the floor as well. And then bend the right knee, let the left foot drop over towards the right. So the right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. If you're very open, keep drawing the lower belly in. And then extend that right leg up again. And then as you exhale, lower the right leg so the hips are in line with each other and you're stretching the right toe towards the back of the room. And then release. And then swap sides. Inhale, raise the left leg high. Again, don't worry about hip alignment yet. Just stretch it up high. Bend the knee, let the foot, just with gravity, drop over towards the right, keeping the left knee pointing up to the ceiling, drawing lower belly in if needs be, or definitely a good idea if you're very open. Inhale, extend the foot up again. And then we're lowering that left leg, squaring the hips, closing the hips so they're in line and stretching the left toe to the wall behind you. And then lowering it down. Take a breath. And then at the end of your inhale, look forward. Sorry, exhale, look forward, step the feet to the hands, and then inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the hands, stretch. And exhale, hands to the side, Tadasana. Pause for a moment in mountain pose. So hands by the side, feet together at the front of the mat. So we're going to flow. Lots of variations of the crescent moon lunge, high lunge. So again, opening the front of the hips. And you inhale, raise the hand. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right foot back and come to the low lunge. So if you want to use blocks under your hands here, that's fine. But just pause in the low lunge for a moment. We're on the ball of the back foot, right heel's drawing back, left knee is drawing forward, belly is lifting up to the spine to support the lower back here. And we're going to lower the right knee down. You can keep the right toe tucked under and inhale, either just hands on the thigh, or you could keep them on the floor if that's enough, or raising the hands all the way up. As you do that, feel how that increases the stretch on the front of the right hip and the psoas. Draw the tailbone under, take some deep breaths, looking up to the hands if the balance allows, or forward. Exhale, release the hand down, tuck that back toe under. And you can come straight to downward dog from here, otherwise left foot joins right for plank or tabletop. Exhale, we lower down, knees on off the floor. Inhale, we find a back bend, could be a cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Okay, so you can skip these vinyasas and just stay in child's pose, downward dog, whatever works for you. And then after a couple more breaths here, and downward dog or child's pose, we're going to look forward and step the left foot between the hands for low lunge on the other side. Oh, we already did this side, sorry. Swap sides, right foot forward, left foot back. So right knee is pointing forward, left heel is stretching back, keeping the neck long. Lowering that left knee down again. You can keep the hands here or climb them onto the thigh, or inhale all the way up, opening the front of the chest. Exhale, release the hands down, tuck that back to under and lift the knee. Inhale, left foot joins right at the front of the mat, look up. Exhale, dropping the head, folding in. Inhale, raise the hands, reach and stretch. Exhale, hands to the side. So we're just going to do a slightly different variation each time. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. This time we start with the left foot coming back. So again, come into that low lunge, knee off the floor on the ball of the foot. Keep the gaze forward. We're going to come into a twist. So press down through the left hand under the shoulder, maybe using a block. Turn to the right, hand onto the hip, or hand reaches up to the ceiling. Keep that back leg very strong and engaged. Exhale, release the right hand down, release the left knee down. And again, either stay here or back up to anjaneyasana. Hands above the head, but this time bend the elbows and take the thumb to touch the back of the neck, almost leaning the head into the forearms here to get into the upper back as well as the lower back. So we really stretch the upper part of the psoas. And exhale, release, tuck the back toe, lift the knee, straight to downward dog or child's pose, or come to that plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath or so. And then this time, we, at the end of the exhale, look forward and bring the left foot forward between the hands. Keeping the back knee off the floor on the ball of the foot. Take it into a twist, hand underneath the shoulder, turn to the left, either left hand on the hip or reach that left hand up. All the way through this, draw the lower belly back to the spine to harness the front and the back of our core support here. So let front body support lower back. This can prevent injuries. Exhale, release that left hand down, release the right knee down. Inhale into that crescent moon. And again, you can be in any hand position, but if the hands are all the way up in full anjaneyasana, bend the elbows, thumbs touch the back of the neck or come close. And then we almost press the back of the head into the forearms, lifting the space behind the heart, drawing the tailbone under, lower belly in. Exhale, release. Tuck the back toe. Inhale, right foot joins left. Look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold in. Press through the feet. Inhale, raise the hands. Reach and stretch and look up. And exhale, hands to the side. And just take a breath. Okay. And again, if by the way, if the flow is too much for you, just join to the postures, okay? Otherwise, on your next inhale, raise the hands, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, right foot back first. And again, we'll just come straight into anjaneyasana this time. Come onto the right hand underneath the right shoulder and bring your left hand to your left hip. So we're twisting again. You can stay here, or we can stretch that left hand back, maybe bend the right knee and find the right foot with the hand. This really want to stretch the first. Please stop without lifting it. So don't take the touch towards the heel, bring the heel towards the bicep. So don't force this. Very open, you could come down to the forearm, parallel to the front of the mat. I think I intend to cut out, I'm sorry, but I'm in here for those open. And release the foot, the hand to the front, the back to the knee, for dog or child's pose, or plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Pause, downward dog or child's pose. At the end of your exhale, look forward, step or bring your right foot between the hands and release the left knee to the floor now. And then we're coming into a twist on the other side. So inhale, coming up, and then bring left hand to the left hip, reach the right hand back. Sorry, left hand underneath the left shoulder, right hand on your hip. I knew that wasn't right somehow. And then you either stay here, reaching the right hand back, or you bend the left knee and see if you can find the top of the left foot with the right hand. And again, you have this option to really open the psoas by squeezing the heel towards the buttock. Okay, this is super intense on the quad as well as the lower part of the psoas muscle where it attaches to the femur bone, possibly down on the forearm. If you have the foot, carefully release, come back up onto the hand if you're on the forearm, and then tuck the toe, lift the back knee. Inhale, step left foot to join right. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise the hands above the head, reach and stretch. Exhale, hands to the side. We've got one more round. Inhale, take a look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. This time, exhale, left foot comes back first. Again, back into anjaneyasana, lower the knee. Inhale, raise the hands. And then this time, do the closed twist. So you can either bring your left hand to the outside of the right knee, and the right hand stretches back, looking behind you, or left elbow to the outside of the knee, palms touch, press the palms, look over your right shoulder. Either way, we're drawing the lower belly back to the spine to support us. Breathing deep. Inhale, turn to the front. Exhale, release, and we'll just put in a half splits here while we're here. So come onto the heel of the right foot, walking the hands back, folding over that front shin. So this is a great one for the lower back and the hips. We can make this even more interesting for the hips by taking the left hand to the outside of the right leg as well. Now you might feel it a little bit more down the outside of the right leg, maybe into the right outer hip. This is optional. It can be too intense for some people. If you've taken your left hand to the right, bring it back to the left, bring the right foot down, plant the hands, tuck the back toe under, lift the knee, downward dog, child's pose, or the plank or tabletop. Exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling downward dog. Take a couple of breaths. And at the end of the exhale, look forward, or step the left foot between the hands, lower the right knee. Inhale, anjaneyasana. Exhale into the twist. So your right hand to the outside of the knee or your right elbow to the outside of the knee, and the palms together. Either way, looking over your left shoulder, drawing the lower belly back towards the spine to support you at your core here. Inhale, turn to the front. Exhale, plant the hands and just come onto the heel of the left foot, toes to the ceiling as you walk the hands back and fold over that front shin. That left leg can be bent if it needs, no problem. Now really pay attention to your lower back here. If you have a weak or vulnerable lower back, this might not feel good for you, but if it feels okay, you can swap your right hand to the outside of your left leg. You can even walk the hands back a little bit towards the hip and just really feel that shift, the sensations, possibly in the outer left leg, maybe in the lower back on the opposite side. Breathe into what's opening for you here. And then if you took the hand to the outside, bring it back to the right side, take the left hand forward, plant the hands, bring the sole of the left foot down, tuck the back toe under. Inhale, step right foot to the left and look up. Exhale, dropping the head. Inhale, raise the hands above the head. And exhale, hands to the side. And just pause for a moment, well done. I'm going to come into the chair, and we're going to do the chair and the twisted chair, sometimes called the fierce pose. the twisted fierce pose. Okay, so keeping the feet together, we're going to bend the knees and take the fingertips down towards the floor. So they may or may not touch. And then the hips will lift, but we want to minimize this as we bring the hands up to wherever our shoulders will allow. Maybe it's all the way up above us, maybe it's in front, but we try to keep the knees bent, drop the tailbone, draw the lower belly in, and extend through the fingertips and look up to your fingertips, if that's okay, your neck and your balance. Pushing down through the heels, through the feet, but this is really about extension as well, the heels and the hips dropping, but the fingertips are extending up. This is great for strengthening and opening the back. And then inhale, bring the hands to the center of the chest. Exhale, bring either your right hand to the outside of the left knee or your right elbow, palms together. Couple of breaths this side, keeping those hips low. Keep pushing the elbow into the thigh to develop the twist. Inhale, back to the chair. Exhale to the other side. So left hand or left elbow to the outside of right thigh. Keep the hips low. I know there's a burning in the thigh by now, probably. One more breath. The final sting. Inhale, back to the chair. And then exhale, blessed release. Straighten the legs, hands to the side, back to Tadasana. We'll just take a moment. So when we're working with the lower back and the hips, a lot of the time we actually want to be strengthening this area and working with the core as well as stretching. So we will stretch, but this is good strengthening work. Okay, so we're going to just come to face the long edge of the mat. We'll do a few stretchy standing postures for the lower back. Just turning my heat off. Getting very warm in here. A little bit chaotic this evening, sorry. Don't know why. Okay, so bring the feet somewhere between the elbows and wrists, and turn your left foot in and your right foot all the way out with the hips facing forward. We're going to come into the triangle. Inhale here, exhale, slide the torso to the right, bring it down to the thighs, the leg, and reach this left hand. In, working to hinge, body, the last three, bring the upper arm close in, and the palm facing the floor. Feel that real extension down the left side of the body. You can look up to that left hand or just look forward. Keep the legs strong. Inhale, lead with the left hand as you come up, and we'll go to the other side. Turn the right foot in, the left foot out, hips forward. Inhale here, exhale, slide to the left, left hand down, right hand up. And we're really kind of drawing that tailbone under, drawing the lower belly in, so we're very supported at the core here. This is going to facilitate a safe opening around the hips, the lower back. Looking up to that top hand. And then again, for the last few breaths, bring that upper arm close to the ear, palm faces the floor. Feel that full stretch down the side of the body. Maybe looking up to the top hand or forward. Keeping strong in the legs, pressing through the feet, belly in, lower belly in. Inhale, leading with that right hand. Bring yourself all the way up. Turn the left toes in. Maybe widen the stance a little bit. We're going to come forward into a forward fold, great for opening the lower back. So hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the chest as you roll the shoulders back. Exhale, come forward into our Prasarita Padottanasana. Release the hands to the floor. We'll use a block if the floor feels far away. And just let the crown of the head drop towards the floor here. Press down through the perimeter of the feet, lifting up at the center of the feet and the inner arches. Feel the legs engage and activate. Feel the lower belly draw up to the spine again to facilitate a safe opening of the lower back. And breathe into your lower back. If you're very open, turn the hands the other way, reach them through the legs behind you to get more into the upper back as well. And then turning the hands forward again.
Press through the hands, inhale, straighten the arms, look up, really find your core support here as you exhale, bring the hands to the hips. We'll just pause here and take a breath. The knees can be bent if you need, with the torso parallel to the floor. And on your next inhale, coming up, stretch and open the fingertips wide. Exhale, bring the feet together, back to Samastiti or Tadasana. Okay, so we're going to do a balance that works with this hinge of the body and the psoas. This, I'm going to kind of do my own hybrid sequence here. So I'll just quickly show you. So we're going to bring the knee into the chest. We'll try to do it without the hands first. This is activating the psoas, and then we can let the hands get engaged, can develop it a bit further on the front of the shin or the back. Then we're going to see if we can transition to heel to buttock, and you can stay here, or modified dancer pose, push the heel into the hands and bring the torso forward slightly. And then we're going to come back and see if we can challenge ourselves for the psoas strengthener, the one that we all love to hate, lifting that foot high and come down. Okay, so let's have a go. So do what you can, balancing on the right foot first, so I can do the other side. Right hand to hip. Use, or in fact, both hands to hips, and use the strength of your hip flexor with your core. So engage the core and lift that knee as high as you can without your hands, and just hold there with the foot flexed, pressing down through the right foot and the heel to feel that extension rebound at the body, feeling this hip flexor working. And then we can take the hands around the shin or the back of the knee and hug it in a little bit more to get into the lower back more. So we're stretching and opening the left side of the lower back here. Try to keep the spine upright. And then see if you can transition without putting that foot down. If you need to put it down, it's fine. See if you can bring the heel behind you now and hold with either just the left hand or, if possible, both hands, the top of the foot, squeezing the heel into the buttock. So now we're getting this lovely psoas release on the front of the leg. Try to drop the left knee so it's in line with the right knee, not poking forward. You can stay here or modify Natarajasana. Push the foot into the palms, really activating that leg to take the shoulders back and come into a kind of a dancer's pose. Bringing yourself back to vertical, squeezing the heel to the chest, and then again, transition. You can bring that knee forward again and extend the leg, point the foot, lift high for 5, 4, 3, try not to lean backwards, 2, and 1, and release. I know it's a tough sequence, it's tough on the standing leg, so do what you need here, shake it out, do a little hip circle. Hip circles are great actually for the psoas, maybe we'll do a few of those in a moment. Okay, so other side. So if you have to take breaks, put the foot down between the postures, that's fine. Holding the hips, hands on both hips, lifting up the right knee with the strength of the psoas alone, but also connecting to the core, feeling how it's all so connected with the fascia in this part of the body. It's like the epicenter of our deep core. Take the hands around the front of the shin or the back of the knee, develop that stretch for the lower back a little bit more. Pressing down through the standing leg, standing foot, lifting up through the spine, shoulders back. Great. And then if we can, we transition without putting the foot down, bring the leg behind us, take hold of the top of the foot with the right hand, maybe the left as well, and squeeze the heel into the buttock. Lovely quad and hip flexor release on the right side. This is beautiful to stay here. If you want to develop it into more of a kind of full psoas stretch, more into the upper psoas, then we start to push the foot into the hands, maybe take the weight forward, the torso forward a little bit, the legs are working hard, the shoulders are drawing back, and then coming back to vertical. Bring that foot forward. If you need to put it down, it's fine, but otherwise lifting the knee again using the psoas, and then extending at the knee, lifting that foot as high as it will go for 5, 4, try not to lean back, 3, 2, and 1, release. Well done. Shake it out. Let's do a little hip circle. great for the lower back, hips and psoas. So it should feel really nice after that sequence. So with the feet just wider than hips, just takes the hips around in circles, just feeling that we're stretching and opening the fascia all the way around this hinge of the body. We get into the front hip flexors as we come forward. We get into the outer hips as we go back, lower as we go to the side, lower back as we go back. And you can make them as kind of big or small as you wish. Just feel intuitively what feels good for your body, and then change direction. And then come to stand at the center, and that should hopefully have loosened things off. I'm just going to do a time check. Okay, let's come down to the floor, anjaneyasana squat, great for the lower back. So take the feet mat distance wide, bring the hands to the center of the chest. Inhale, as you exhale, start to bend the knees. If you have knee issues, just go as far as you can and rest the hands or the elbows on the thighs. If it's available, come all the way down. If the heels lift, it's fine. Keeping the hands at the center of the chest. Toes can point out. If you're very open, you could have the toes more forward. Lifting up through the spine, feeling this as a deep hip opener, lower back opener. And then if you've had enough, sit down. If you want to go for the twisted version, we're going to take the left hand beyond the left foot, so the upper arm is still inside the knee. Turn to the right and either just reach that right hand up, looking up, or possibly some of you might find a bind here where you wrap the hands around that left thigh and you find the opposite fingertips. So optional bind or extended, or you're skipping this. You're just staying in the last or you're sitting down, and we'll meet you there in a moment. Inhale, release, come back to the center. Take your right hand beyond out to the side, beyond your right foot with the upper arm inside the leg. Your upper arm's kind of pushing that knee backwards. Reach the left hand up, look up. Possibly, if it's available for you, take bind around the right side. Draw the lower belly in, connect your pelvic floor here, lifting it up. And then release. Take the hands down behind you. Put yourself down. Stretch the legs out. So if you are somebody with lower back tightness, this kind of rounded shape, then it's really supportive to sit on a low block for these forward folds. And so I will just do that here to show you. So it's good to kind of sit on the front corner, to almost slope down, so that we can start to counteract this roundedness, trying to get onto the base of the pelvis, not the back edge of the pelvis. Okay, so that's an option. We're going to start in Dandasana, the neutral spine, on your block or not. We have the hands by the hips and we draw the shoulders up, back and down. And really we want to feel this connection between lower back and front body supporting the spine. So it's like we have this fleshy corset that wraps around the spine. And when we're getting persistent lower back issues, we're often forgetting to use the front part of this corset, and the lower back's overworking. So really draw that lower belly in. We want to build this connection with these deep core muscles. We want to feel the spine really solidly supported with this fleshy corset deep in the body. So this is Dandasana, and then holding all of that fleshy corset support, we see if we can stretch the arms up without losing that sense of safety and security in the lower back and the front body. And then we come forward. So as you exhale, bring the hands forward, just see what they touch. Let that be enough. Inhale, extend and look up. Exhale, really keep that front body contraction as you fold forward. So Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold, is an active stretch. So the more we engage and connect with our deep core muscles here, the more we're going to facilitate and deepen the stretch on the back of the body in a safe way. So keep that connection, keep drawing your lower belly back to the spine, and this will allow you more spaciousness to breathe into the lower back. If we're dropping the head, we can breathe into the upper back as well. Feel the whole back stretch. And the buttocks and the hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Front of the body contract. So contract the thighs, contract the belly, draw the chin towards the chest. Release the jaw though. Jaw can relax, face can relax, shoulders can relax. Inhale, coming up. Come back to that neutral spine. Just take a moment. Take a breath or so. Back in Dandasana spine. We're going to go to the opposite. So pause, Uttanasana. Bring the hands behind you with the fingertips pointing forward. If you know it's going to be difficult for you to do it with your legs straight, then bend the knees and come up to upward tabletop, as I'm showing here, keeping the chin in. Otherwise, legs stay extended. You draw the shoulder tips forward. We press through the hands, lift the hips, and we attempt to inwardly rotate the legs to press the big toes down. And if we still feel safe to do so, we drop the head all the way back, otherwise keeping the chin in. Keep pressing through the hands, lifting the hips, rolling the thighs towards each other to press the big toes down, and then lowering with control, pressing through the hands, bring the buttocks down, and again, just bring yourself back to that neutral spine, hands by the sides. Just take a moment here, breathing and feeling this again, this integrity, front and back, supporting the spine equally. Okay, we're going to keep the left leg active, and if possible, step the right foot to the outside of the left knee, and just hold that right knee with the left hand. Right hand comes behind you. We're going to inhale, stretch up through the left side, exhale, twist to the right, and either just hug the right knee in, or press the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, or even some of you might find a bind here, feeding the left hand underneath the right thigh and finding the right fingertips. So any of those three options, looking over your right shoulder, don't force, let your breath be your guide. So hopefully you can never breathe fully or as fully in a twist, but we should be able to breathe comfortably. And then at the end of your exhale, come to the front and just take that open twist the other way. So take the left hand behind you and just rest the right elbow on the right knee. We're trying to keep the big toe of the right foot connected to the floor. This helps engage the inner thigh, the adductors. Great. And then back to the front and swap sides. So extend the right leg, bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee. We're holding the right knee in the left knee in the right hand and left hand behind us to lift up. And then we inhale, extend, exhale, twist from the navel, and then either hug the knee, press the elbow to the outside of the knee, or take the bind. Keep the left leg active, toes to the ceiling, looking over your left shoulder, breathing as deeply as you can in the twist. Inhale, open and wind back to the center. And exhale, twist the open way. Just rest the left elbow on the left knee. Keep pressing the left big toe down. Keep active in the right foot and just look to the right. Take some big breaths here. And coming back to the front. Release. We'll swap sides again. So take the left foot forward, and this time take the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh, keeping this left leg active. If you need to support the outer thigh on a block or pillow, that's fine. Inhale, stretch up. Remember, support front and back of the spine equally, and then on an exhale, come forward. And then maybe that extra inhale to lengthen again, and then exhale, drop the head. So again, just like Paschimottanasana, this is an active stretch. So we are contracting the front of the left thigh and the shin, so pointing the toes up to the ceiling, flexing the foot. We are drawing the lower belly muscle fibers back towards the spine, so beneath the navel, to connect with our deep core. And then we're feeling that opening, that stretch in the back, lower back, upper back, and the backs of the legs and the buttocks. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come back. Find that neutral spine. And we'll swap sides. Take the right leg forward. Bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. So really every time we find the neutral spine, this is our chance to practice fleshy corset activation. Inhale, stretch the arms out. So we're drawing the lower belly back to the spine. Exhale, take the hands forward. Inhale, lengthen, open the chest, look up. Exhale, fold, dropping the chin towards the chest to stretch into the upper back as well. Keeping that right leg active, flex, keeping the lower muscle fibers of the belly drawing back to the spine. Relax the face and the jaw and the shoulders. Just really breathe into the back of your body, which is being opened here. Don't forget the front body contraction. Inhale, look up. Exhale, return to that neutral spine. Take a moment. And we're going to bring the right foot to join the left. We're going to come to Baddha Konasana. This is often a good time to sit up on a block if that lower back feels like you're rolling back. If possible, take hold of the outer edges of the feet. If that's not available, hold whatever you can here. Or if the knees are high, just trusting our body is where we need to be. But we're lifting up through the spine, we're drawing the shoulders back, chest forward. We're going to do the 3 versions of Baddha Konasana today. So Baddha Konasana A, we keep the elbows in. We start to take the chin and the chest forward. So it's not about coming down towards the floor. We're trying to keep this neutral spine. So we're not rounding the back. We're trying to keep the same neutral spine, but just take the chest forward, even if it's just a millimeter. And if it's too much to come forward, just stay upright. The elbows stay in. And then inhale back to vertical. Now we round the back. Baddha Konasana B, we exhale, we round, like we're in the cat. So we keep the chin glued to the chest. We push the upper back kind of behind us, and we drop the head towards the feet. So we're really strongly contracting the front body here. Some of you, if you're more open, eventually the head will touch the feet. So it's not in front of the feet, it's on top of the feet. This is how contracted we want to be. Okay, so just go as far as you can with that. Keeping the elbows in, trying to keep drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Try not to create lots of tension in the neck by collapsing the shoulders to the ears. Inhale, open your way back to neutral spine. And Baddha Konasana C, we just stay with the neutral spine. Should feel more delicious, more open after Baddha Konasana A and B. Or maybe just a little bit more easy if this is a posture you really struggle with. And just maybe closing the eyes, taking awareness inwards. Don't forget that front and back integrity here. Wrapping the fleshy corset around the spine, front, back, and sides. Like a squeeze, a hug of the spine with our deepest core muscles all the way around. This is what keeps us safe, prevents injury in the back. And then from here, take the hands behind you, open the legs wide for Mukha Vishta. Take the hands in front of you, and you can just stay here, or if there's more space, go in your body, start to walk the hands forward until you get to your kind of edge, keeping the legs active, toes pointing up to the ceiling. So just let this be your own journey. You might want to close the eyes and just go deeply inwards and just find your way to that place that's right for you this evening. Whatever that looks like, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's what it feels like. Be in your truth, listen to your body. And a guide is that you can breathe fully and you can relax. Yet you can feel sensation. This is the sweet spot. Breathing into it. And then on an inhale, just lifting the gaze, walking the hands back in, bringing the hands behind the knees, just drawing everything together to a little ball. Hug the arms, wrap the arms around the shins, and just drop the head or the forehead or the chin to the knees, or just dropping the head between the upper arms, just finding some release in the lower back here. I often find myself just intuitively doing a tiny little rock side to side, very comforting posture. And then we're going to come to our backs, but we're just going to do the boat because it's so good. It's a bit like the fierce pose. It's tough, but it's wonderful at strengthening and opening the lower back and the chest. So we have to do it with today's theme. So bend your knees and come onto the toes and try to squeeze the inner thighs together and the inner knees together and reach the hands out in front of you. Draw the lower belly back towards the spine. You can stay here, just focusing on lifting, 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 or we lean back, lift the feet off the floor. Maybe we lift the feet in line with the knees. Maybe we straighten the legs. Whatever we're doing, our focus is to keep lifting out of the lower back, drawing the lower belly to the spine, keeping the chest open, breathing fully. I'm going to do 2 rounds. Let's say we've got 3, 2, and 1. Release the feet. Take a moment. So you can either just have the little rest of the hug. If you really want to work the psoas and everything, the hinge of the body, cross the ankles, take the hands either side of the hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This really switches on the fire. Okay, and then 1 more round, same as before. If you're staying with the feet on the floor, just lift out of the lower back. Otherwise, lift the feet off the floor, lift them in line with the knees, stretch them out. The legs are straight, the inner knees aren't going to touch, but we can press the inner big toes together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Again, option, cross the ankles, inhale, lift, exhale, lower, or just squat. And we're going to come onto our backs. Again, you can flop down, or you could roll the spine down, trying to keep the feet on the floor from the lower back to the upper back. And when you get down, reach the arms overhead, stretch the legs out, and we come back to that full body stretch, pressing the lower back towards the floor to engage the deep core. Okay, we're going to do some passive, well, they're not passive actually, we're going to do some supported back bends. So this is where you will need a yoga brick. So if anybody doesn't have a yoga brick, you're just going to do an unsupported setu bandhasana. So setu bandhasana being this heels to the buttocks, and we use the hands and the feet to lift the hips. And this is going to be your psoas opener. Otherwise, we're going to do a particular psoas focus here. So take your brick and put it under the sacrum. The brick has 3 heights, low, medium, or high. You can do this sequence on high, but for most people, I think medium, or if you've got back issues, low is fine, is better. Sometimes less is more. Then we can get into the intricacies, the subtleties of the work with the psoas, rather than this kind of big opening. We can go for the big opening afterwards. So I would recommend middle or lower. Okay, and we're just going to take a moment here to just rest and feel this trust of our body being supported by the brick. So the brick is under the sacrum. So the sacrum are the last fused vertebra of the spine. So it's a bony plate meeting the flat surface of the block. So it should feel like that. If you feel like the block is poking into the vertebra, then it's too high. And if it's too low, you might be slipping off the back of it or just feeling the fleshiness of the buttocks. So for most of us, the buttocks, the sacrum is just at the cleft of the buttocks, just above the fleshy bit of the buttocks. So find that sweet spot where you can just release, that, when you know you've got it, when you can just kind of let the sacrum, the flat plate of the sacrum, meet the flat plate of the block. And we're going to stretch the arms overhead, stretching into the upper portion of the psoas on both sides. Then we're going to extend the right leg forward, but keep the toes pointing up to the ceiling. So there's going to be a tendency to externally rotate and drop the toes out to the side, but avoid that. Keep the toes pointing straight up to the ceiling. So now your right psoas is at full extension, and you may start to feel it. You may start to feel the subtleties of this line of stretch that goes from the inner thigh, top of the inner thigh, through the pelvic bowl and meets the back of the spine, the mid-spine. But make sure you don't externally rotate the right toes. Then we're going to use the strength of the left hip flexor with the foot flexed to lift the left knee. And it's not going to come that close to the chest. As soon as you feel that the pelvis is twisting and the left hip bone is coming higher than the right, you've gone too far. Take it back a little bit, because then once we twist and torque the pelvis, we don't get the same subtlety of the psoas work. Okay, so just feeling that, just holding this posture, that we should feel level in the pelvis and the sacrum, like the hip bones are in line, pointing up to the ceiling, the sacrum's level on the block. We're extending the right psoas, we might feel that. If you need to relax the foot a little bit, that's fine, you'll still get the stretch. But we're actively kind of activating the left psoas. So this is one of the best postures I've found for starting to feel the psoas. It's really hard to feel it because it's so deep. If for the last breath or so we want to take the hands forward and draw that knee in a little bit more, we can, but just watch out, because usually at this point we'll twist and torque the pelvis, and we're not wanting that. So you might just hold the back of the thigh, or not at all. And then release. So it might feel like we're not doing very much, but it's that kind of subtle work that over time you build a relationship with your psoas. So we've got both knees bent again, just take a little rest between sides. And then again, reach the arms overhead, feeling like we're stretching and pulling on the upper portion of the psoas muscles, because we have two psoas muscles, one each side of the spine. Slide the left foot forward or left heel forward, the toes pointing up to the ceiling. So start with that left leg flexed, left foot flexed. It might need to relax after a while, but at least try not to externally rotate. Keep the knee and the toes and the top of the foot pointing up. Just take a moment here, feeling that stretch, maybe tracking the root of the psoas from the inner thigh, pelvic bowl to the back of the spine. And then consciously activate your right psoas with the foot flex, slowly drawing the knee. So be slow so that you can pay attention to what's happening in your pelvis. Knee up towards the ceiling, probably not towards the chest. Just check. If we come too far, like the right hip bone will feel higher than the left, as in closer to your face, closer to the top of the mat. We want to avoid that. So it might just feel a bit awkward, like that knee's just kind of awkwardly in the middle of the nowhere, but it's not. It's activating right psoas. You could actually even bring the right hand to touch the right knee without bringing it, and this is going to help contract right psoas and feel the difference between the right psoas and the fully extended left psoas. And then again, if you want, for the last few breaths, to take both hands around that right knee and just maybe slightly draw it closer, but really trying to keep the pelvis level. Very subtle work. Check your left leg's not externally rotated. And then release, bring the right foot down, slide the left foot in, back to our backbone. And you might just feel like it felt like we weren't doing much, but maybe I can feel it. I can kind of feel this fatigue in my psoas. I know my psoas has been worked because of what we were doing combined with our focused awareness. So at this point, if you want to go into Seti Bandhasana unsupported, or take your block onto the highest setting for a supported back bend, so up to you. You could take the arms overhead if you're supported or unsupported, So just feel that for yourself. If at this point you just want to remove the block, bring the heels to the buttocks and just use the strength of your legs to lift into a full back bend, then do that, or just stay where you were on the block or bring it to a higher setting. So come to a deeper back bend. So when we do deeper back bends, we tend to be stretching the whole psoas. We're also working with the lower back, the lower back is being strengthened here. Breathe. Feel the legs strong. And then when you need to come down, if you're unsupported, just release the spine to the floor, upper back to the lower back. When you're ready to come off your block, if you're still on your block, just press with the feet to lift the hips and remove the block so that we all meet on the floor with the knees bent. And just taking the feet maybe a little bit wider, maybe mat distance apart, allowing the inner knees to rest against each other. Constructive rest pose. We can also take the arms up, cross the left arm in front of the right, and cross the upper arms as high up the upper arms as possible, and then just drop the hands towards the opposite shoulder, keeping the elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. This is opening up the upper back in the same way as the leg position is opening the lower back. Take some nice, restful, deep breaths here. And then raising the arms, the hands up towards the ceiling, just swap the cross, so bring the right arm in front of the left, cross as high up the upper arms as possible, reach for the arms, just drop the hands towards the opposite shoulder, but keep the elbows pointing more or less up to the ceiling here. Take another few breaths. Relaxing the belly, relaxing the groins. And then inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, just bring the hands down towards the floor. You can just have them out in line with the shoulders or cactus arms, whatever's comfortable. We're going to exhale the knees over to the right. Just let the right knee drop all the way out to the side. Press the inner left knee towards the floor. You can stay here, or you can pick up the right foot and rest it on the outer left thigh above the knee. Don't press on the knee joint. And you can maybe look over your left shoulder. Relax the left side, relax the belly. Deep breaths into the left side of the belly. After all that core awareness, enjoy this relaxing the belly, stretching the belly. If you've hooked the right foot onto the left thigh, release it, but make sure it's back at the edge of the mat. So as we inhale back to the center, feet are still mat distance apart, and then exhale the knees over to the left. So the left leg relaxes, just drop the left leg out to the side, but we actively press the inner right knee down towards the floor. Stay here, or pick up the left foot, rest it on the right thigh. Make sure you're not pressing the knee joint above the knee. Maybe look over the right shoulder. Focusing on relaxing and releasing the right side now, breathing into the right side of the belly. No contraction in the deep core in this one. And then release that left foot to the floor if you hooked it. Back to the edge of the mat, roll back to the center. Just bring the knees up towards the ceiling with the knees together. So lifting the feet, take the hands forward around the front of the shins or the back of the knees. And just breathe into the lower back. And we started the class, maybe a little rock this time, side to side, or little circles maybe. And whenever you're ready, we're coming to Shavasana. So just let the legs extend, hip distance apart or slightly wider than hip distance apart, arms away from the side, palms up. If you've got any pinching feeling or tenderness in the lower back, you can always keep the knees bent or put a bolster under the knees. And then just let go. All that work, just letting go of the muscle effort, letting go of the mental focus, just letting the body soften, heavy, relax into the floor. Feel the muscles slipping away from the bone. That fleshy corset can release. Let the breath be natural. The face relax, the jaw relax, the eyeballs relax. And just open to receive the fruits of your practice. And stillness and quiet.
And as always, if you have longer, you wish to stay longer in Shavasana, please take that time. You wish to finish with me at the end of the class. And just in your own time, deepen the breath. Start to bring movement to the fingers and the toes, maybe the head. And slowly and gradually return to seated, taking any stretches that feel good. And let's just close, bring the palms together, maybe closing the eyes, bowing the head towards the hands, symbol of humble gratitude to ourselves for making it to the mat this evening, to our bodies, our backs, our psoas, our hips, all the amazing parts of our body that work together to help us move through our days, keep us safe. But anything else you're grateful for in this moment. And when you feel complete, just raising the head, opening the eyes again. Thank you for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. Hope to see you soon.